Caitlin Clark was supposed to be coached by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve.
Because Clark traded Cheryl Reeve, who was the coach of her team, or was to be the coach of her team, to Collier for Sandy Brondello, the coach of the New York Liberty.
Also, quite a bit of bitterness coming from Team USA's coach Cheryl Reeves when she was asked pretty much any questions about Caitlin Clark. And she was asked if there was any second guessing from her on Caitlin Clark not making the team, and she very just spitefully says no. Doesn't elaborate on it, just says no.
The WNBA world just witnessed a jaw-dropping twist at the 2025 All-Star Draft, one that nobody saw coming and everybody's still buzzing about. Caitlin Clark didn't just make headlines with her picks, she detonated a live TV bombshell that's now echoing across the league. In an unscripted moment that left commentators speechless, Clark took control in a way nobody's ever tried before. She traded her own all-star coach, Cheryl Reeve, right in front of millions of viewers. Forget drafting players. Clark just rewrote the script for what power move means in professional sports. The stunned reaction wasn't just from fans. Coaches, players, even the league office were left reeling, desperately trying to figure out what they just witnessed. It's safe to say, all-star drama has never been this real.
For me?
Yeah.
No.
And it's funny to me how even she coached this game, because if you didn't think Caitlin Clark was the caliber of player that she is, then why would you feel the need to face guard her, to trap her, to...
The night began with innocent fun. Two of the league's brightest, Caitlin Clark and Nafisa Collier, stepping up as all-star captains to select their dream teams on national TV. The mood was light, the banter friendly, and viewers expected the usual mix of smiles, jokes, and maybe a surprise pick or two. But then, everything shifted. What should have been a just-for-show event spun into a real-life power struggle, with Clark flipping the narrative and catching the entire WNBA flat-footed. Instead of passively playing along, she turned the entire all-star selection into a live-action revenge arc, pulling off one of the most audacious moves in league history. Cheryl Reeve, the veteran coach and Clark's assigned mentor for the night, found herself on the receiving end of a blindsiding trade. A moment so raw and unrehearsed, you could see the disbelief on her face. Clark's message: the era of being polite for politics is over.
Caitlin Clark was supposed to be coached by Minnesota Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve.
For those not keeping score, here's why this was seismic. Cheryl Reeve is no ordinary coach. She's the architect behind the Minnesota Lynx dynasty and the bench boss for Team USA, the very squad that infamously left Clark off the Olympic roster just weeks before. In a move that can only be described as poetic, Clark looked straight at the camera, shrugged off any sense of protocol, and declared, "I don't care if this is allowed. I'm trading the coach." The arena went quiet for a heartbeat. This wasn't just about basketball. This was Clark taking her narrative back, refusing to let the story be written by those who doubted her or tried to minimize her impact. With one unscripted sentence, she sent shockwaves through every layer of the sport. In that moment, it was clear. Clark didn't just want a team, she wanted to make history, and nothing was off limits.
I just finished watching the All-Star selection. I ain't never seen nothing like this before. Caitlin Clark is a menace, man. She literally kicked Cheryl Reeves off the team. It's my team. I don't... Yes. Cheryl Reeves, you asked for it. You asked for it. So now Sandy Brondello will be coaching Caitlin Clark's team, and Cheryl Reeves is going to be coaching the Nafisa Collier's team. This is insane right here. And it's like, yo, Cheryl Reeves, I get it. You have the best record in the WNBA so far. You want as many plays as you can.
So who did Clark bring in as her replacement? Enter Sandy Brondello, the mastermind coach of the New York Liberty, known for her high IQ game plans and a reputation for letting stars shine their own way. It was a swap that sent a jolt through the All-Star festivities. While Nafisa Collier, already familiar with Reeves' coaching in Minnesota, immediately jumped at the opportunity to snatch her own mentor, Clark's move was about way more than comfort or routine. It was Clark staking her claim, building a team on her own terms, with a coach who believed in her creative firepower. The moment Brondello took her seat, you could almost feel the narrative shifting. This wasn't just about the All-Star game anymore. It was about sending a message to the league's power structure: adapt or get left behind.
But the drama is going to come from Reeve having previously been critical on social media about the amount of attention Clark received relative to the rest of the league.
You can't understand how cold this move was without knowing the backstory between Clark and Cheryl Reeve. For months, Reeve's name has swirled in every debate about Clark's Olympic snub. Whispers that Reeve saw Clark as media hype, not a generational player. Fans have screenshot and dissected old tweets, scrutinized deleted comments, and even pored over Christine Brennan's expose that suggested Reeve had more influence over Team USA's roster than she ever let on. While Reeve has always denied holding a grudge, the court of public opinion hasn't been convinced. Clark, meanwhile, has stayed mostly silent until now. By engineering a live public trade of her coach, Clark found the most creative way possible to clap back at the narrative. No drama, just decisive action. Suddenly, the All-Star game felt more like a season finale than a friendly exhibition.
Bruh, tell me y'all just saw Caitlin Clark destroy Cheryl Reeves on national TV. I know y'all saw free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke, ayy, free smoke. Bruh, Caitlin Clark want all the smoke. Bruh, she just annihilated Cheryl Reeve on national television. I didn't see that.
This was more than just a flex. It was a lesson in taking back your own story. Instead of letting league politics or whispered grudges control her future, Clark made her intentions clear for everyone to see. She wouldn't be sitting quietly in the background, coached by someone who never publicly backed her. Instead, she seized the biggest stage and changed the conversation in real time. The best part? She did it all with an effortless grin, a sense of calm that drove home just how calculated this was. There was no anger, no outburst, just a quiet, controlled show of power. For every player who's ever been told to play nice or wait your turn, Clark's move was a revelation. She rewrote the rules with a smile, and in doing so showed the whole league what real agency looks like. In that moment, Clark became more than an all-star. She became the architect of her own legacy.
I don't know that I've heard of a coach being traded in the All-Star game. This is something you're agreeing to, Fee. There's no terms to this deal.
But the most overlooked part, who Clark chose as her new bench boss wasn't random. Sandy Brondello isn't just another clipboard carrier. She's been vocal about embracing Caitlin's unorthodox brilliance. For Brondello, it's not about forcing players into a box. It's about unlocking their full chaos. Some fans already started whispering, was this just an all-star pairing, or was Clark quietly setting up a future super team in New York? With Sabrina Ionescu thriving under Brondello and the Liberty building their own dynasty, this coaching move felt like a sneak peek at something bigger. Cheryl Reeve may be a legend, but on draft night, she was left blinking, sidelined, while Clark looked every bit the league's new power broker. Even her smile said, I'm in charge now.
Caitlin Clark taking her teammates we knew, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. She's also taken Sabrina Ionescu and the pink-haired player known as Asia Wilson. That's right.
Clark didn't just pick players, she sculpted a circle of trust. The All-Star draft wasn't about gathering raw talent, it was about building a locker room where loyalty trumped headlines. If you'd thrown shade at Caitlin in the last 18 months, congratulations, you'd just been banished to the other side. When the rosters hit Twitter, it was immediately obvious. Clark stacked her lineup with players who had her back on and off the court. Fever running mates Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell were the first to get the call. Sonia Citron, Gabby Williams, Kiki Iriafen, all picked not just for skill, but for chemistry. This was a team built to run through walls for each other.
Names are there, they're there. There's nothing no crying and whining is going to do about it. The same way you didn't give two shits about Caitlin Clark's fan base and all that. Don't nobody give two shits about your crime. You know what I'm saying? Like that, you're coaching Caitlin Clark's team. I don't understand why you had to make it a big deal and say, oh, well, this team below us to have more plays than us and it's disappointing. And like, what are you talking about? Like, you already kept her off the Olympics. Now you're going to complain about her having more teammates than your players on the court. This team. Embarrassed.
And then there was the internet breaking meme, no ops allowed. It spread like wildfire, and for good reason. Everyone on Team Caitlin was either a friend, a ride or die, or at least a proven non-hater. The wild cards, still safe picks, players she'd shared the grind with who knew what it was like to play with a target on your back. The moment Caitlin's roster was finalized, even the most casual fans could see. This was less an all-star team and more a Justice League for real ones only.
Pick none of her rivals, other than Aja Wilson, because as Ken Swift's graphic says, Team Caitlin, no ops allowed, except Aja.
There was one big exception, Aja Wilson. No way Clark was letting the reigning MVP slip by, personal press drama or not. You can be selective and still want to win. Aja's just too good. She was the only name on that no-ops squad who might have once thrown side-eye, but talent trumps awkwardness. Adding her made it crystal clear. Clark wasn't here to play favorites at the expense of the win. She wanted it all. A super team of shooters, rebounders, and most importantly, zero drama.
She picks her teammate, Courtney Williams. She picks her UConn alum, Brianna Stewart. Paige Beckers.
Angel Reese has filed a trademark for the rebound term me-bound.
While Caitlin stacked her Avengers, Nafisa Collier was busy stirring her own TV drama. When Angel Reese's name came up, Collier leaned into the mic and dropped "me bound." A single word, a loaded inside joke. Reese once took heat for that nickname on WNBA Twitter, but Collier saying it right in front of Clark sent the whole draft stage into freeze frame. Cameras caught Clark's icy reaction. She didn't flinch, didn't giggle, just that famous stone-cold stare. It was the meme of the night, and you knew instantly every tiny move at this draft was loaded with receipts.
Clark should have a very fast team there. When you look at it, I mean, Williams is really fast for a forward. Obviously, Kelsey's very fast. Citron's very fast. Jackie Young's one of my favorite players. Iriafin, a rookie, can get up and down the floor. UNESCO can help spread the floor along with Kelsey and Clark so they can really shoot.
But credit where it's due. Angel Reese took that moment and flipped it. Medbound became her rallying cry. Suddenly, she was posting double-doubles, swaggering into arenas with new can't break me energy. She took the viral insult, flipped the script, and built her own mini brand. Even Caitlin Clark, cool, silent, unbothered, would have to respect that. The All-Star game may be about headlines, but these players were turning slights into fuel for the next act.
I think Caitlin's got a better team.
Back to Clark's master plan draft. Once you saw her starting five, you realized she'd just assembled a team built for absolute mayhem. Point guard, Clark obviously running the show. Shooting guard, Sabrina Ionescu, maybe the best combo of range and swagger in the league. Satu Sabali, Swiss Army knife, pure chaos on the wing. Aaliyah Boston, the anchor in the paint. And Aja Wilson, an MVP, a nightmare for defenders. That speed, length, shooting, muscle, and attitude. Clark didn't just want to win, she wanted to run the table.
Caitlin made sure to get some size. She actually passed up on Paige Beckers to take Sabali, and she took Aja Wilson with her third pick. If Aja had fallen any further down the board, that would have been a wee bit of a controversy, if we're being real about it. But Clark picked her, I think, just in time.
And the bench, stacked to the rafters. Kelsey Mitchell, the microwave. Gabby Williams, lockdown defender. Sonia Citron, slasher, spot-up threat. Kiki Iriafin, a future all-star, bouncy and fearless. Jackie Young, sneaky MVP potential. Kayla Thornton, glue. There was no weak link, no wasted pick. Every player could shoot, run, defend, or bring a vibe that fit the Clark ethos. If there was a championship for most balanced all-star bench, this one would already be printing the rings.
But there's got to be something in the back of Caitlin's mind that still feels a little miffed, even if Reeve wasn't directly responsible for her not making the Olympic squad.
And here's where Clark really went petty and viral. She passed on Paige Buchers. The headlines had them side by side for years, the perfect media darlings. But Clark went for fit, not fairy tale. Satu Sabali over Paige, that was as much a message as it was a strategy. No room for sentiment, just building the best roster. Every fan saw it. Clark doesn't care about hype, she cares about the WNBA.
They asked Caitlin Clark, "Hey Caitlin, are there any player trades you like to make?" Nah, I'm kind of set with my team, but I would like to trade coaches. I like it. I don't know what's gotten into Caitlin Clark. You are leaning into this bad guy role. I love it. I don't know what's gotten into you, Caitlin Clark, but you've been on some I don't give a F lately. I love it.
But here's where the chess match gets fascinating. While everyone's talking about players, the real insiders are watching the coaches. By choosing Brondello, Clark put herself right in the crosshairs of the Liberty's recruiting machine. Imagine it. Clark, Brondello, Ionescu, all together at Barclays Center. Maybe not this year, maybe not next, but that all-star partnership was the ultimate soft launch. Every Liberty fan started dreaming, and you can bet New York's front office was watching too.
Truth is truth. Slightly exaggerated truth is still not a lie.
No, Clark's not a free agent tomorrow, but every big move starts with a little chemistry, a what if. What if you gave Clark a system where she was free to play her own game, a coach who gave her the keys? With the Liberty star power and media clout, the business case writes itself. This all-star draft didn't just build a team for one game, it might have just planted the seeds for a future WNBA superpower.
Who do you think, A, picked the best team, and B, who do you think's going to win?
On paper, Collier's team could win a 7-game series, but in a wild run-and-gun all-star game, Clark's shooters, floor spacers, and ball movers had the clear advantage. And did you catch Collier repping unrivaled merch during the draft? That's not just a t-shirt, it's a shot across the bow at Clark's hype train. Unrivaled is Collier and Stewart's off-season league, seen as the anti-Clark wave by some fans. Wearing it while drafting to face Clark on national TV, message sent.
I would need to make this big. You have to give me your #1 overall pick and your teammate, Aaliyah Boston.
Absolutely not. Not happening. Good try.
Let's not forget the viral comedy moment. Collier tried to trade for Aaliyah Boston and Sabrina Ionescu, literally offering up vibes. That's right, I'll trade you vibes for 2 all-stars. The internet exploded. Even Clark couldn't hold back a laugh. It was one of those moments where the draft became pure theater, part sports, part sitcom. Good try, Clark replied in that tone you use with toddlers and overzealous fantasy football managers. Another viral moment, another reminder, this all-star game was bigger than basketball.
Drama storylines can be spun for fun in this regard, not to mention that the exhibition still has juice.
Now zoom out. What happened at this all-star event wasn't just about scoring or who could dunk. This was Caitlin Clark taking control of the narrative again. Cheryl Reeve, the coach who once shaped Olympic rosters, now finds herself coaching against the very player she left off Team USA. It's poetic, it's public, and it's all happening with the whole league watching. Maybe Reeve still has her whistle, but Clark's got the megaphone. The message to every WNBA player, coach, and fan: don't just play the game, own the story. If you want more epic twists and bold takes, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned, because this league, it's just getting started.